Hey guys, the Oblivion Remaster for the Switch 2 is just around the corner, and if you think it's going to look something like this, well, I'm sorry. But it's not all that bad. I was genuinely impressed with Fallout 4 on the Switch 2. I thought after the DLSS patch, they smoothed a lot of the issues out, and it plays and looks great on the console. So I'm cautiously optimistic on how it's going to look when it launches very soon. And we know that this is a monster game. It is Unreal Engine layered on top of the Creation Engine by Bethesda. So we have two engines merged together to create this beautiful looking version of Oblivion. And I wanted to mimic what that experience could potentially look like if we throttled everything down to the Switch 2's hardware. So that, changing the FOV, changing the resolution down, the quality level all the way down to low, 30 FPS, no ray tracing, no nothing. And I put DLSS on because that is something that the Switch 2 chipset can do. I noticed immediately there was some screen tearing, and the level of detail clearly is night and day, particularly with the water effects. There's clearly no comparison with the 4K, PC that's able to run this at 120 frames plus, but nevertheless, we can see the anti-aliasing coming into effect here, particularly in water and around the bow. And the character, there's some pixelation happening. It's not necessarily a deal breaker. And maybe on handheld you will notice it less. As we approach a point of interest, everything's loading in smoothly. I noticed no real hitches, but combat for me on 30 FPS throttled down is difficult. I'm one of those guys that thinks that a 60 FPS should be the standard and the floor for modern titles and ports, just because it's just a better experience overall. I think we need to nudge and push developers for that, and maybe in the future they'll be able to drop a patch similar to what they did with Fallout to be able to provide more options. That's pure speculation on my part. As you can see, at level 1, we both got zoinked. So where does this leave us? Is it a deal breaker? No, not at all. But we know that it's a good sign that we're getting older, cherished games on the Switch 2. I like that. I want more of that. But the level of detail is going to take some hits, and that's fine. As we look at the character models, I thought that's something they did very, very well with this remaster. With the Switch 2 version, you can see around the mouth, there was some weird kind of artifacting and kind of some white outlines around the characters on the Switch version. Moving into another kind of combat sequence with some shrubbery and flowers. On the PC version, everything is loaded in. There's nothing popping in and out that we noticed on the Switch 2 with the flowers and the shrubbery. The shadows were really pixelated. It was a little bit distracting for me to have shrubbery pop in as I was in the middle of combat. You can see flowers coming in, loading in. And so it's just the radius around the player when it's in a certain cell in the engine. They have to render things one step at a time. Otherwise, it just will tank everything. But on the PC, we didn't really have that problem. This PC is an i9 14900K with a 5090. So it is definitely 1% territory. But throttled down, again, I wanted to mimic that experience. And so hopefully this gives you guys an idea of what it could potentially look like when you're playing at 30 FPS with those settings, as best I could mimic them. But yeah, I think, all in all, I'm excited to see Oblivion on a handheld. I will be making subsequent videos about this. We know it's not going to be the PC experience, and that's not the point of this video to dog on the capabilities of Switch 2. I'm still hopeful that they have some tricks up their sleeve to squeeze out a little bit more performance and visual fidelity for the Switch 2 version. Let me know what you think and what you're most excited about Oblivion coming to the Switch. And like always, please like and subscribe for more content.